Hello, hello, Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to Stars with Stasi, where no matter who or what you are on this cosmic journey, you are welcome here. I'm Stasi, your trusted psychic, intuitive reader, and fellow Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, this is our weekly reading for the week of December 14th through December 20th. I can't believe that we're almost at the end of 2025, y'all. Woo! Can you stand it? And then we have the winter solstice happening on the 21st. So let's see what messages the universe has for us. I can tell you that this is my third attempt at doing this reading. I kept having equipment issues, and I don't know. The last two readings, right? I only got like 4 or 5 cards in each time, but the last two readings had very similar messages. So I want to see what comes out first before I spill the beans. All right, this reads, "My life is a mirror. The people in my life are really mirrors of me. This affords me the opportunity to grow and change. My life is a mirror." Man, and that's just basically as within, so without. What you see outside of you is a reflection of parts of yourself. And that's why judgment is frowned upon by the gods, so to speak, right? So I'm just going to leave you with that. This is number 4, expression. Here we go. Find a voice, bottled up emotions, and communicate. So there is something here about expressing yourself, letting it out, affording yourself the dignity to say what you mean and mean what you say. And then this reads reflection. Well, that's interesting because we've got, now 2 cards that speak about reflections and, as within, so without energy. So I'm just going to put that there for you. So let's go ahead and comment below. My life is a mirror, as within, so without. Put that down, and that will enter you into a new contest that I will be running, and we will get into that at the end of this reading. But my life is a mirror, reflection and expression. Okay, so let's go ahead and get more on that. The Devil card and the Strength card are showing up at the bottom of the deck. Devil card is definitely all about those, I always say, addictions, afflictions, things that are just unhealthy, things you got to let go of, false beliefs and narratives. I also have this energy coming forward about a recommitment to yourself. So I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but this is all coming through. I'm about to channel. I'm hearing very strongly. Excuse me, I'm hearing very strongly that you have made a commitment to yourself and then you abandoned it, which means you've abandoned yourself. And I didn't expect to be channeling this much. Excuse me. There's this energy here of like, we made this life for you. You are now in a position. So hold on. Let me just. Sorry, guys, give me a second. A lot is just coming through. So basically the universe, the spirits that are coming through are basically saying like, listen, it's your responsibility now to uphold your end of the bargain, right? We sat down with you. We prepared this game of life for you to enter. And now when you make a commitment to yourself, you need to find the strength to uphold that commitment. Because again, the Devil card, always temptation. Find strength to come out of temptation. So if you have recently or just at any point in your life given up something, an addiction to toxic people, that's an addiction, right? An addiction to drama, an addiction to a substance, right? There's something here that as within, so without, you can't have that around you and think that you're going to be able to escape the temptation. So that's, and I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll see what the rest of the cards say, but I feel very strongly that somebody out there needs to hear that. And quite frankly, I think we all need to hear that. You got to clean up what's around you for you to stay in the best headspace possible. So be mindful of that. Here, I've got the King of Pentacles coming forward with the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. Okay, well, okay, there's a progression here. But it's going in okay. Let me reel it in. For starters, one would think that you would see the page first. If you're going to bust all of them out in order, it would be here we go, the page, the knight, and the king. However, it came out the king, the knight, and the page. What that tells me is that there's a regression happening, right, this week. And it might not necessarily be like a regression in you're actually taking the steps back, but opportunity, temptations, ideas, distractions show up this week. That's what I'm feeling. And, this could be anything from overspending, overextending to all the things us Scorpios generally get ourselves involved into. I don't know why we're like, yes, I do. We like it. That's it. We do crazy things because we like it, and it is what it is. I'm not wrong. It's nothing but a bunch of Scorpios here. We can be ourselves. We can be our freaky selves, our weird selves. But meanwhile, let's see what the advice here is. Let me see what else this is going to, because what is happening? Then we have a 10 of Pentacles. Hold on. Wait a second. What is this about, universe? The Hierophant coming through. All this earth energy. I mean, there isn't anything on this table so far but earth energy. Stop. And the 5 of Pentacles just came out with the 8 of Swords. Hold, please. What is this about? Okay. 7 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups. Well, shit. All right. So the first thing that I felt strongly about was, I already said, a potential regression, at least mentally, the temptation, the smoke and mirrors, things trying to detract you from your goal. I also feel that the universe is wanting you to, prepare yourself. Have a plan B, C, D, keep going, right? Have several versions available to make escape routes. That's what I heard. So to me, this looks like the following. You're not a big drinker. It's the holidays. You're going to go out, have many plans on how you're going to get home. Right? Have many plans for the mocktails you would have if you weren't out with people that you used to hang with. I'm not sure. This could be so many things for so many people. So if you're looking for a more personal reading, please head over to my website at starswithstasi.com. All the links are always in the description box and pinned at the comments section. But that is first and foremost. The other thing that I feel is like this idea of, you finally, you've worked really hard for this long-term vision. You've put a lot of energy and effort into it, and then things maybe went to a standstill, right? So think King of Pentacles, long vision, big ideas, putting all your, energy into building something because you feel like what you're doing is going to lead you to wealth and abundance and the power to create and sustain financial success. And then we go to the Knight of Pentacles, which is like a little bit of, well, am I ready to go all in on this? A little bit of like, I don't know, is this the best thing for me to do? To a Page of Pentacles, where pages are like curious, they're students, they're seekers, they want to know, and they can also be messengers. So it's an idea here of like, additional information coming forward closer to the very end of the year, giving you more of a foundation for what this 10 of Pentacles is. So, I mean, honestly, no matter which way you slice this right here, this to me feels very much about like a back and forth, right? A back and forth, but ultimately getting to a point of comfort, success, stability, because the Hierophant shows up. So Hierophant, Taurus energy, it is about more stable, traditional, religion, politics, marriage, those types of like stable, fixed, contractual things comes through. But then we also have the 5 of Pentacles. You know what's interesting is that I have used this deck about 4 times since I did a reading for you guys, and I think it posted yesterday. And in that reading, we had the 5 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the 10 of Pentacles come up. So that's why I hesitated. I'm like, I feel like I'm having deja vu. So 5 is a number of change, disruption. And then we've got this 5 of Pentacles. And here in this card, are these people, have they been excommunicated from the church? Are they walking into the church for help, for prayer? Or have they been isolated, or did they leave voluntarily, right? What's the story here? Well, to me, it seems like you're going after what it is that you want, even if you have to go back and forth a bit, even if you have to disrupt the process, break out of, again, traditional thinking, and also maybe even isolating yourself a bit. And that's, God's honest truth, that's what's coming through. Because hold on, and I'm seeing here we've got the 5 of Cups, 5 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, and 8 of Swords. I don't know, Scorpio, there's a lot of energy here about like wondering, what's taking so long, should you continue to put yourself in this position? 8 of Swords, a lot of energy around like just being closed off, and a little bit of sadness, to be honest. And the universe is saying, listen, you're definitely headed in the right place, but you've got to recommit to yourself the changes, the changes that you've embarked on in 2025. Let me keep looking. I don't know, because we've got holy shit. So of course, what I cut the deck in the Tower. All right, so hold on. I got the Tower and the 2 of Swords. So there's some indecision with you, Scorpio, with us. Shit, I'm one of it's us. We're in it. So there's some indecision or a decision needing to be made, but I feel like there's a catalyst that makes that decision for you because you've been sitting on the fence. And I have to keep saying it. You are the company you keep. So if you've made huge changes in your life, you have to understand that you're not going to resonate with the old people that once were, right? Again, I think that's what this regret and sadness is about. And I think that's what this feeling like, oh, I don't belong anymore. And this, is this the right thing for me to do? And how can I break out of what I've known and the comfort that I've been in? And all of those questions, this 8 of Swords, right, is holding you back. But ultimately, you've got the King of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles here waiting for you, right? You've already had it. And that's what it feels like. It's like, there's an energy here of where Scorpio has worked really hard to attain a goal, and then maybe like in the past couple weeks found yourself slipping back into bad habits of some sort, or some kind of habit that isn't serving you, and that is giving you some sort of like pause. And I just have to say, guys, remember that this is a difficult time of year for a lot of people, and so just be mindful of your surroundings. That's the best thing I can say. And if you've been sitting on the fence for a while about something, for sure, this week is going to give you the clarity you need to, I almost said to shit or get off the pot. That's what came through. And that's interesting because sure enough, I'm pulling cards and the Lover's card comes out, Gemini energy, more thinking, more being torn at a crossroads, needing to make some decisions. And here we've got the 10 of Cups and the Star card. So Aquarius energy. And these are major life lessons coming through as well. Things having you consider how you're healing, first of all, right? With this Star card and wishes granted. The Star is the hope after the Tower moment, right? It's literally the card after the Tower moment. So when we saw the Tower come out and we saw the 2 of Swords, I feel like whatever indecision, because remember, 2 of Swords, here we have the crossroads, Star card, wish granted, right? Things do work out and you do get ahead of it. But You might go in reverse or at least drift back for a little bit. Mentally more than anything, I think. But honestly, if you've set some really high goals for yourself, even if it's just staying positive, even if it is just bringing in more income, whatever, but if you're around people that are used to the old version of you, the old version of you was a version you had going on for a while. So it could be super easy to slip back into things. Empress says, but you won't, right? Empress. I feel like Empress is also saying to us, like, take some time and just take all that energy, that nervous energy, that anxiety, and flip it around, reframe it into energy that you're going to put on yourself. Right? You might want to zhuzh up the way you look. You might want to, just think Venus energy. She's also very much about comfort, luxury, style, abundance, fertility, pleasure, right? So the Empress comes through, and this is a good thing after all that. Tell me more about why the Empress is showing up. I have the Six of Swords. Okay, hold on. And then I'm also looking at the Knight of Swords. And I think everybody's back on track. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let me just fix these real quick. So with the Six of Swords and the Empress, I do feel like everything is going to work out. But the universe, I guess, I don't want to put it in the frame of you're being tested, because I don't really like that. But I think it's more or less like, listen, life is full of ups and downs. And when you make changes, you're breaking out of a comfort. You're breaking out of a pattern. And so it takes some time for your energy to restabilize. And it takes some time for you to, you have to practice putting up boundaries. You have to practice setting yourself up for success. You have to practice those things. And so don't see it so much as, why am I being tested, or why am I being put through it? Just be like, okay, I'm refining the process of building me. And if you just see it that way, it helps tremendously, because, listen, we're human. We're meant to do all this stuff and learn from it. So beating yourself up is very much like yelling at your kid because they didn't understand everything the first time it was taught to them. You have to practice, and you have to practice what you preach. You have to, walk the walk. Walk the walk, walk the talk. You know what I'm saying? Do the thing you say you're going to do. I've got the Four of Swords, the Judgment card, and the Two of Wands to wrap this up. So the Four of Swords, rest, relief, calm down. It's going to be all right. Take a TO. It's going to be all right. Judgment card comes up, and it's about like releasing the old skin, releasing that old you, being called to more, being ready to be called, being called home to the game plan. And then we've got the Two of Wands coming forward. So this Two of Wands, this person has the world in their hands, and they're setting their sights out for more. They're in that period of like, daydreaming. I like to see the Two of Wands as daydreaming. That's what's the difference between the 2 and the 3. At 2, we're daydreaming and we're putting our energy into like, I really see a life where I can have all of these amazing things. The 3 of Wands is you're putting it all together. So I would say this, with all of this reflection, that your life is a mirror, and as within, so without, and that this affords you the opportunity to grow and change. This is practice. It is. And I think that now that I've seen the hand, when we're going back to expression, this is a good time to speak up for yourself and start making use of the, how do I want to put this? Sorry, guys, there's so much coming through that I'm a little bit like trying to find the best way to say this, because it's It's just basically the universe is calling you to task. Like if you've really said to yourself all of 2025, like, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to work on my marriage, I'm going to expand my business, I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And then, it only takes a couple bad decisions to have all that just poof, right? So be careful and be intentional with these next few days, because all I keep hearing is temptation is coming for you. It's coming for all of us, and you're going to have to redirect that energy. The universe is saying that redirection includes and not limited to doing nice things for you. Instead of getting wrapped up in fill in the blank, whatever it might be for you. Let's just call it drama, for lack of better words. Instead of getting wrapped up in the drama and going places that you've worked so hard not to be in and being around people that you've been trying to avoid, no is a complete sentence. Take that energy and go do something you enjoy. Zhuzh yourself up. Whatever it is, just not that. Because it's coming through so strongly. It only takes a couple of bad decisions, a couple of days where you just kind of come off the track, and it can be a real issue. So, understand that you are in the driver's seat here. So that Four of Swords, the Judgment card, and the Two of Wands, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling like, oh man, I really want to do this, but I don't trust myself if I'm in this situation, start daydreaming about all the things that you want to do and take steps towards that. It actually helps, and it makes a huge difference. So again, guys, remember, my life is a mirror, as within, so without. This is a period of reflection when you are challenged with things that don't suit you. So it's an interesting message. This reads number 27, offended versus enlightened. So, with everything that we're talking about here, it could just be that, maybe there's a fear here that you'll offend other people if you don't join into the holiday fun, or maybe, you're offended by not being invited somewhere. But honestly, all of these things are actually for your betterment, right? Say what you mean what you say, and do the thing. Offended versus enlightened. And I also feel like this person's very focused. You see that? Like they're just very much within themselves, and there's gratitude there. So, all right, Scorpio, I feel like I'm going to wrap this up with an empath card. I'm getting all these messages, and I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I haven't already said. All right, guys, I have to. I'm seeing the following images. Please stay safe. Okay, here we go. I'm seeing things like being pulled over for a DUI, right? Which can be under the influence of, and then fill in the blanks. I'm seeing things like, just not the best behavior. I don't get yourself in trouble by reconnecting with a past version of you that you worked so hard all year to heal and rebuild. That's the way I'm going to word that. All right. This says, energize yourself with the weather. Well, you can sure do that here. It's cold. And I feel a lot of energy when I go to my car in the morning. It's freaking freezing. It says, enjoy the warm sunshine. I wish I could. Enjoy the warm sunshine, the wind in the trees, the cleansing rain, or the clarity after a snowstorm. This will increase your aliveness. Look at her. All right. You see this person right here? They are outside. And I think that, and they're spending time with all the elements. All the elements are here, right? And they're grounding themselves. And I feel like both of these cards here have a lot in common. So I'm just going to leave that with you there. Remember that when we are tempted, we're tempted because whatever is tempting us is familiar. It's a comfort. Why are you seeking that comfort? Where are you bleeding out, right? Where do you need to kind of sew up that energetic hole that is, allowing you to desire something, right? So I just got to keep saying it. Focus on your betterment. Remember how far you've come. Remember how worthy you are of all things good. You deserve it. So thank you, Scorpio, so much. Remember that we are all stars from the sky with feet on the ground, doing the best we can with the information that we have. So be kind to yourselves and each other. Now, the cards that I had pulled on the other readings before I got to this were very much about your sex, sexuality, partnerships. And the major card there was about being, I wish I saved it on the side, but it was something about, no, it's not. I thought it was that one. Sorry, guys. It was a lot about just being comfortable in your sexuality. I will never be able to reword it the way it said. And so both readings had a lot about that. And with this here talking about mirror and reflection and temptation, I don't know. Just figure out what it is and where it is that you don't feel whole and focus on that instead of going back to the things that made you feel whole when you were unhealed. So I hope that helps. I love you guys so, so much. And may the magic that we weave and the words that we speak bring healing to all those who seek it. Have a great week ahead. And don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, notification buttons. Take me to 20,000. I am working on it. Love you guys and shine brightly.